This is chapter number 1, Chemistry of Representative Element that is part of Inorganic Chemistry. Today we will study the chemical properties of the sulfuric acid that is in continuation with the contact process that I told you guys in the previous video that you get the question in your descriptive in which you are also asked to write about the chemical properties. So the first chemical property that we have in our course is the role of sulfuric acid as an oxidizing agent. Oxidizing means addition of oxygen. Why sulfuric acid act as an oxidizing agent? Because in sulfuric acid, the sulfur is present in the highest oxidation state, which is +6. You might get this in your MCQs. You can take the correct answer, which is the +6. Now for the reaction, in our course as an oxidizing agent, we have 4 chemical reactions. It reacts with carbon to form carbon dioxide gas, sulfur dioxide gas and water. In this equation, you can easily see that oxygen is added. With sulfur, it forms sulfur dioxide gas and water. And when it reacts with metal, it forms copper sulfate, sulfur dioxide and water for the copper metal, and for aluminium it will form aluminium sulfate, sulfur dioxide and water. These are the equations that you get most commonly in your board examination. Make sure that equation must be balanced and complete. The second property is role of sulfuric acid as an dehydrating agent. Dehydrating means removal of water. It means whatever the reactant is, from that reactant the water H2O molecule will be removed. It reacts with glucose and it forms carbon and water. You can easily see that glucose has 6 carbon. So in the product side you have 6 carbon and this H12O6 is removed in the form of water. The easiest way to memorize the moles for water is in glucose you have 12 hydrogen. So the half of 12 is 6. So you get 6 water molecules. For sucrose you have 12 carbon and 22 hydrogen. So the half of 22 is 11. So you get 11 water molecules. For wood, a general formula is given here. You get 6 carbons, half of 10 is 5, so you have 5 water molecules. You can easily memorize these equations by keeping the concept of the oxidizing or dehydrating agents. The next one is sulfonating agent. It means the sulfonic group, which is SO3H, will be added in the reactant. It reacts with benzene to form benzene sulfonic acid with the removal of the water. You can clearly see that benzene has 6 carbons and 6 hydrogen. From these 6 hydrogen, 1 hydrogen is removed and that removal causes the addition of the sulfonic group and then water is also formed. Similarly, it reacts with toluene. Here you can see that it has 8 hydrogen atoms. 1 hydrogen atom is removed and it forms the addition of the sulfonic group along with the water. The fourth property we have is the diabasic property of acid. Sulfuric acid has 2 protons, so when it reacts with water or dissolves in water, first proton is released and then in the next step, second proton will be released. So it can also be called as the diprotic acid. It gives 2 protons, so it will eventually react with the 2 hydroxyl ions. How you will get this question in your board examination? You get this in your descriptive for the 8 marks. Along with the manufacturing of the sulfuric acid by the contact process that I stated in the previous video. Now that question is completed, you can easily write down the equation that as an oxidizing and dehydrating agent. In oxidizing agent, you have 4 equations and in dehydrating agents you have 3 equations. If you watch carefully, they are asking for the manufacturing of sulfuric acid by contact process. It has 4 steps. So 4 marks for those steps, 1 mark for your figure. So you get 5 marks. 3 marks are remaining. It means 1.5 marks for oxidizing agent and 1.5 marks for the dehydrating agent. It means at least 2 equations for the oxidizing and 2 equations for the dehydrating agent must be mentioned to attain full marks. Now it's completely up to you what equations you want to attempt. For example, for oxidizing agent, if you want, you can write down the equation of the reaction of sulfuric acid with carbon and then with sulfur, or you can write a metal and non-metal. For example, if you are writing carbon, then you can write the metal, either copper or aluminium. It's completely up to you. For dehydrating agent, we have 3 reactions, that what with glucose, sucrose and wood. So whatever you feel the most easiest one, or you remember, or you have a better understanding, you can choose and you will get the full marks. One more thing, the equation part you also get in the descriptive. Make sure that the diagram must be drawn. So you get in the inorganic chemistry that we discussed earlier as well for the 8 marks descriptive as the write a balanced chemical equation for the following reactions which you get from the chemical properties. A piece of copper is dipped in concentrated sulfuric acid. That means reaction of copper with sulfuric acid. Wood is treated with oil of vitriol. Oil of vitriol means sulfuric acid. So reaction of sulfuric acid with wood, that is the dehydrating agent property. Benzene reacts with concentrated sulfuric acid. This is the sulfonating agent property. Glucose is mixed with sulfuric acid, that is the dehydrating property. Aluminium reacts with oil of vitriol, that is the oxidizing agent. Sulfur is treated with sulfuric acid. Similarly, you will get 2 more equations. Make sure that whenever you are attempting this question in your board examinations, 8 equations must be attempted. They must be complete and balanced. By complete, I mean if you have more than one product, then all the products must be mentioned. The equation must be balanced. It means the number of moles for the reactant and product side must be specified. You get the equations in the form of statement and you get it in the collective form. So this is how you get this in your board examination. The equation is part of the contact process as well as the equation is also a part of the balanced chemical equation question that you get in your descriptive question answer. If you still have any query, feel free to reach out. This is all for today. I will also make a video on the important topics of the chapter number 1 for the board of intermediate education. So you can also watch that video. Thank you so much. This is all for today.